of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness.
Did you know Hollywood's biggest stars are fighting a secret war against their own industry? Denzel Washington and Mel Gibson have uncovered a shocking truth that's rocking Tinseltown to its core. From human trafficking to corruption at the highest levels, these A-listers are risking it all to expose the dark underbelly of the entertainment world. But why now? And what's really at stake?
Mr. Washington, you're here in D.C. during an interesting time with the transition in the White House. Just wondering who you wound up supporting in the election and why.
Go ahead now. Fences.
Who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election.
None of your business.
None of my business?
None of your business.
Well, I'm only asking because the story was online, but that's okay.
I don't know. I'd have to be more informed to just say off the top of my head the number one issue. I'm not sure. Education, jobs, health. There's so many.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Picture this: Denzel Washington, one of Hollywood's biggest stars, casually strolling into his trailer after a long day of filming. He's exhausted, ready to call it a night, when something catches his eye: a crumpled piece of paper hastily shoved under his door. Curious, he unfolds it and starts to read. His eyes widen, his hands begin to shake. This isn't just any old memo, it's a smoking gun that threatens to blow the lid off Tinseltown's darkest secrets.
Turn it off. That's what I would say. It's hard for young people now because they're hooked. They're addicted. If you don't think you're addicted, and I'm talking about anyone, from the highest to the lowest, so we should use it. God has blessed us with free will. Now it's free will magnified, free will on steroids. You're free to go in any direction you want. It will allow you, and it's not the enemy. Now it's to be liked by 16 million people that you don't know. We have to ask ourselves, what is the long-term, if not the short-term effect of too much information? And will now some of us do anything to be liked? We used to do anything to be liked, but it was by the person in front of you.
The memo hints at a massive cover-up involving some of Hollywood's most powerful players. We're talking studio execs, A-list celebs, even politicians. Denzel can't believe what he's reading, but he knows he can't ignore it either. This is bigger than him, bigger than any movie he's ever made. So Denzel starts digging, and boy does he find dirt. A web of lies and corruption so thick it makes his head spin. Child trafficking rings operating right under everyone's noses. Bribery that goes all the way to the top. Blackmail that keeps people silent. It's like something out of one of his movies, except this is all too real. But the powers that be aren't about to let Denzel expose their dirty laundry without a fight. Suddenly, he's facing threats from all sides. Mysterious phone calls in the middle of the night. Shadowy figures following him around town. His career, his reputation, even his life. It's all on the line. Denzel knows he can't do this alone. He reaches out to a few trusted friends in the industry, people he knows have integrity. They start piecing together the puzzle, and a terrifying pattern emerges. It's not just isolated incidents. This is a systematic abuse of power that's been going on for years. The more Denzel uncovers, the more he realizes just how deep this rabbit hole goes. It's not just about Hollywood anymore. This scandal touches every corner of society. And that's when it hits him. He's stumbled onto something that could change the world. Denzel Washington, the man who's played heroes on screen for decades, now faces the biggest decision of his life. Does he keep quiet and protect his career, or does he risk it all to expose the truth? In the end, there's only one choice he can live with. Denzel's going public. Consequences be damned. Because sometimes the only way to be a real hero is to stand up and fight, even when the odds are stacked against you. Just when you thought Denzel's exposé couldn't get any bigger, enter Mel Gibson. Known for his controversial past, Gibson's been quietly gathering intel that could blow this whole case wide open. But here's the kicker. His evidence points to a conspiracy so vast it makes everything we've heard so far seem like just the tip of the iceberg.
It was difficult, but I was up there and immersed among people who all needed subtitles. So it was like, what did you say? And they'd have to repeat it. So eventually it kind of worked its way into my lexicon. We were at Andy Vanya's place, and he's Hungarian, and he made goulash. Now, imagine Sean Connery saying that word.
It all starts with a mysterious package that shows up at Gibson's doorstep. No return address, no clue who sent it. But inside, a treasure trove of damning evidence that backs up everything Denzel's been saying. We're talking documents, photos, even recordings that prove the Hollywood elite are neck-deep in some seriously shady business. Gibson doesn't waste any time. He starts confronting industry bigwigs, catching them off guard and recording their panicked responses. These aren't carefully crafted PR statements. These are raw, unfiltered reactions from people who thought their secrets were safe. And let me tell you, they're sweating bullets. But Gibson's just getting started. He digs deeper and uncovers a network of shell companies, all linked to trafficking operations. It's like peeling back layers of an onion, each one revealing something more rotten than the last. And at the center of it all, a high-profile charity that's been hiding in plain sight, using its squeaky clean image as a front for some of the darkest crimes imaginable. Gibson knows he needs concrete proof, so he does something crazy. He risks everything to infiltrate a secret industry party. We're talking high stakes, undercover stuff. And what he sees there, it shakes him to his core, the kind of things that make you lose faith in humanity. Now, Gibson's a changed man. This isn't about Hollywood gossip anymore. It's about exposing a system that's been preying on the vulnerable for years. He reaches out to Denzel, and the two of them decide it's time for a final explosive reveal. They're going public, consequences be damned. You've got to wonder, how deep does this rabbit hole really go? And who else in Hollywood knows about it? One thing's for sure, Denzel and Mel are about to drop a truth bomb that'll change Tinseltown forever. The question is, are we ready for what they're about to reveal? The day has finally come, folks. Denzel Washington and Mel Gibson just dropped a truth bomb that's shaking Hollywood to its core. They called a press conference, and let me tell you, it was intense. These A-listers weren't holding anything back. They laid out all the dirt they've uncovered, and it's even worse than we thought. But here's the kicker, they're not stopping there. Denzel and Mel are calling on other celebs to step up and spill what they know. You could see the fear in some faces when they said that. Who's gonna crack first? Who's gonna try to save their own skin? These two aren't backing down either. They've made it crystal clear. They're in this for the long haul. They're gonna keep digging, keep exposing, until every last bit of corruption is dragged into the light. Hollywood's elite better watch out, because Denzel and Mel are coming for them.